Welcome to the Startup World Cup Finland 2020 online competition. Throughout 4 episodes, we will present you the 7 best Finnish startups. Each of them will pitch their business to you and our honorable judges. In the last episode, judges will choose the best Finnish startup, which will go to San Francisco for the grand finals and compete against the world's best startups and the grand prize of $1 million. This online competition is organized by Tampere Entrepreneurship Society, Tribe Tampere, and Silicon Vikings. And big thanks to all our partners, everyone who helped us make all this real in such challenging times. And now, please welcome our jury. Ossi Numminen is FiBan angel investor, venture builder, and board pro. As an angel investor, he has made 30 investment rounds as well as 7 angel exits. Varpenius is sales and marketing manager of Finnos, winner of the Startup World Cup 2019. She was the one who pitched the way to San Francisco last year. Ossi is founder and manager of EGP, a growth capital fund for New Nordics. Over 20 years of experience on B2C business as owner, manager, and investor in several different fields of business. In our first episode, you will see Tezted and Lovia. After their pitches, there will be a Q&A session held between the jury and startups. For the first pitch, we have Tezted. Tezted is revolutionizing the way complex diseases like tick-borne diseases are diagnosed. The company was founded in 2016 and has since expanded its sales in Germany, Latvia, Spain, and the Netherlands. Here's Dr. Leona Gilbert pitching their business and sharing more information. Enjoy!
Hello, I'm Leona Gilbert, CEO and co-founder of Tezted. We have innovated the way tick-borne diseases are diagnosed, and we are committed to get the patient tested so that they can be treated and recover quicker. Every 120 seconds, someone in Finland is being infected with a tick-borne disease. Every 96 seconds in North America, and every 2 seconds in China. These numbers are outrageous, and we need to do something about it. Patient advocacy groups have also testified in court that it takes 11 different visits, 11 different doctors, 11 different tests to get that one diagnosis. And governments are spending 20 billion euros to manage these people. If we look at the problem globally, 88 million patients are suffering in 80 countries all over the world. And by 2050, 35% of the global population will have a tick-borne disease. These numbers are only going to rise, and we can do something about it, and that's with TribeX. TribeX is testing 15 different microbes and 3 different disease stages simultaneously at a 90% cost reduction for the patient. And you can appreciate the benefit. The patient only needs 1 visit to that doctor to get that one diagnosis, and the patient will save money, time, resources, and recover quicker. Because we are unique. We are testing multiple disease stages and multiple microbes at the same time at a 90% cost reduction for the patients. In a total market size of 11 billion euros, 29 million tests are performed annually, and these numbers are just going to increase. So our business model is this. Those people that have been bitten by a tick, we are directing them through our patient advocacy groups to go and contact our customers, the clinical laboratories, to be tested so that they can be treated and recover quicker. And we have great progress. Last year we made €500,000 in revenue, and it is expected to make €5 million in revenue because we're venturing into expanding in Europe, Canada, and Australia. And this is why we're raising €1.2 million for growth, because our team knows how to get products into the market and how to contact the patients. So, can you help us get the patients tested? If you can, please contact us. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Leona. One of the things that you discussed in your video was that you try to attract awareness with the patient advocacy groups, and then you mentioned that this does kind of improve your clinical lab sales, so the labs would buy more when you have awareness in this patient advocacy groups. Can you a little bit describe how these two really relate together? That how does the awareness in the patient advocacy group really improve your sales to the clinical laboratories?
I will give you a very specific example. I have contacted the Australian Lyme Disease Association last year, about, I think in August, and I went to see them. And I went to see actually the president of the organization and a few patient advocates, and also a few patients. I saw some in Australia as well as in New Zealand. And I have engaged in actually a research project with them, both from New Zealand and Australia, to build awareness about the importance of testing for multiple microbes. And through this research project with them, we talk about which type of multiple microbes we should be testing for, not just TribeX test, but other opportunist infections and other tests. And through this kind of collaboration, co-partnership, we're able to build awareness within the Lyme Association, and then we're able to direct those patients to the clinical laboratory within Australia or New Zealand that's actually doing TribeX there. So we are working with a clinical laboratory in this research project as well, and we are bringing those patients to be tested by TribeX to that clinical laboratory. And in that sense, we're building up the patient group for this clinical laboratory through that research project, as well as then, of course, we're building up our networks within the patient advocacy groups. And this has worked so well so far with the Australian Lyme Disease Association that they actually asked me to become their head of their scientific committee. So I'm their head at the moment. So we're going to promote more and more kind of awareness of testing for multiple microbes in at least those two countries at the moment. Yeah. And then the same kind of strategy I did with Canada as well. So I visited Canada last year, went to the major Canadian Lyme Association networks, and we started talking about the importance of multiple testing. And so now we have a clinical lab in Canada that will do the testing, and we're going to bring the research participants there and so forth.
Okay. Well, you said in the presentation that this is much cheaper for all of the participants. I think you were mentioning 90%.
Yeah.
What is the reasoning, and how did you calculate that?
Yeah. So the current testing right now is testing one microbe, so one bug, okay, or one virus or one parasite, and one antibody at a time. Okay, so IgG or IgM at a time, and most of the countries in the world require the two-tier system for testing for Lyme disease, and that two-tier system is the first tier they will test with Borrelia for Lyme IgM antibody. Okay, and if that's negative, they will never do a test. But if it's positive, they will do the IgG ELISA, and then they go to the two-tier system, which is actually a Western blot IgG Western blot and IgM Western blot. So in total, that's 4 testing only for Lyme disease. Each of those tests at the moment costs on an average 200 euros on an average. We have 15 different microbes, 2 different antibodies. So we have 30 tests in one. And if you times 30 tests times 20, or 200 euros, you're getting into 6,000 euros. Right now, our customers are actually offering this test kit anywhere from 300 to 400 euros. So this is how we calculated this 90. And in some cases, depending on the clinical lab, it's even more than 90% cost reduced for the patient.
Okay. Can you explain just the technical innovation on it? What is that?
Yeah. So the whole concept is we're testing for tick-borne diseases and those opportunist infections that are coming from a tick bite, we say it that way. So we have Lyme disease, of course, that we're testing for. We actually are the only company in the world that has the persistent form in our test kits. No other test out there has that, and that's protected through 2 patents at the moment. And we have co-infections, fine, we do. Like some of our competitors have that as well, but we also have opportunist infections there. Some opportunist infections because these individuals that have been sick a long time, they're succumbing to more and more of these infections. It's like if you go to the hospital, you have surgery, you're more prone to the hospital-acquired infections because your immune system is low. Same thing with these patients. So our innovation is the persistent form for Lyme disease because no one has it, the co-infection as well as the opportunist infections on one test kit and testing the 2 different antibodies. And no company in the world right now has the persistent form, like I mentioned, or has even are thinking about putting the opportunist infections there. And we chose these opportunist infections because they are statistically relevant in these patients. And they're very important to screen in these patients, like Coxsackie virus, okay, like parvovirus. 85% of the global population has probably been exposed to parvovirus, but we're not sick with parvovirus. But these chronic patients or long-term patients, they are succumbing to a human parvovirus, infection because their immune system is low. So that's the innovation that we have actually with our test kit.
Okay, to do several tests at the same time and then to find the kind of okay. All right, Mari, please.
Thank you. And
yes.
It's time for last question, Mari, please.
Yes, in your presentation you mentioned business to business, but what about you also mentioned business to customer? How are you dealing with that side?
Yeah, so the business to customer is really going directly to the patient, okay? And we work with patients through the patient advocacy groups because we feel that we can actually have the maximum exposure to the patients because a lot of the times the patients that are associated to these patient groups or patient advocacy groups. And we actually become a part of their committees, scientific committees, or their association committees, just so that we can build trust and awareness, and that we give them options of where to go to get tested, and also we have a network of clinicians behind us, so where they can get treatment as well.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Leona and jury. Now, it is time for the second pitch of this episode, Lowvia. Lowvia is on a mission to create modern circularity where the product's life cycle starts from what we already have and does not end up back in the bin. Pioneering with a fully transparent direct-to-producer and direct-to-consumer value chain, Lowvia turns leftover materials into design accessories. Now, Anna Lehtola will give you a pitch of their business, and again, Q&A comes right after.
Hi, I'm Anna Lehtola, the CEO of Lowvia. We turn leftover materials into design accessories to create this modern circulation where we actually take from the trash and strive to create this product life cycle where nothing would end up back there. There are a lot of things we have to rethink. Firstly, the resources. So we're using leftover materials, currently leather, that is suitable to create accessories. And the only thing we have to rethink in the design process is not just the purpose for the material, but also a long-time purpose for the user. For example, this bag can actually be worn in 6 different ways. The way we're rethinking the value chain is this direct-to-producer, direct-to-consumer chain, where we're not only able to have internal transparency, but also external transparency and to share the information with the end customer. So transparency for us right now means this DNA concept where each bag and product has a profile, sharing the pricing, the makers and the materials behind it. The main differentiator between our product and the competitors is that we're actually essentially selling ideology and not just fashion accessories. And this is something that's creating very high customer engagement. We're right now a team of 6, supported by professional advisors and investors, but also a part of the extended family are of course all the makers and the customer community. And these two ends of the value chain we're finally trying to make to communicate with each other through our social networks. To reach our growth and mission goals, we're looking at these 4 must-win battles that are creating the strongest community in the whole value chain, and to create the most responsible brand, the most insightful design, and the highest production quality. Last year, we reached more than 4x growth, and this year, even after the coronavirus risk calculations, we're expecting to at least double our sales. We have so far raised around 300k, and right now we're looking to raise 300 to 400k more. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Anna. You had a very nice presentation and beautiful surroundings and good-looking items that you had in the video. So my question is that, so you are kind of an impact business, so this transparency is important for you. And you also talked a little bit in the video about the higher customer engagement because of the ideology of this business that you have. So my question is that, what kind of traction you have with this ideology thing, and what makes you believe that this kind of ideology is so important that it improves your traction while doing this business? And what kind of traction you have based on this ideology thing?
It's hard to give a clear number, but we have several. Well, first of all, we have a very low return rate at the online store and also physical shop. So only a few % compared to the average 30%. So that's like one numerical sign. But also there are several customers who come to the physical showroom where we actually meet and discuss, and they say that they're actually buying this item to have something to discuss about in their groups. And we also have many people saying that this is like an obvious discussion topic, Lowvia, in their group of friends. Also, there are many customers who have been saying that they're always trying to keep their bag in a great form because people are stopping them on the street and asking whether this is now the Lowvia bag that people are talking about. So these are definitely signs that tell that people are actually talking about Lowvia as a topic rather than just a product.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Riku.
Yes. Nice to meet you. Good story and well pitched in the video. But I'm of course, wondering that the competition in this sector is so fierce, and even the nicest stories are they are battling against a lot of money and a lot of resources. So when I was looking at your must-win battles, strongest community, insightful design, highest production quality, it sounds like it's very difficult for you to be the highest production quality in fashion. It's quite difficult to have the strongest community or to be most responsible brand. I understand that you aim for those, but really in the short term, what are the must-win battles now? What do you see right now? What are the things that how would this scale and how are you building the brand?
We can also see the must-win battles as something that we're, for example, battling against the Finnish bag brands and then we can build up to the Finnish fashion overall, and then to the global bag brands and so forth. So if we first look at the Finnish bag brands, which are our main competitors right now, mainly Marimekko and Lumi here in Finland. So against those, for example, well, Marimekko has a very, very strong community, obviously, but the strength of the community, well, it's hard to measure, but we can also look at, it's not only the size of the community, but it is the strength of the existing community, even though it would be much smaller. So that's definitely what we want to build right now. So we really want to create the strong roots where the community is standing for itself. And well, during these coronavirus crisis weeks, we have definitely been seeing the support of the community. We, for example, yesterday night, we launched this pre-order edition, and we have already sold many of those bags. So yeah, I'm not sure if this answers your question, but yeah, those
not at all. It's okay. What about the online sales against the kind of brick and mortar? How do you see the future on that? Could you only have an online presence?
Probably we're going to go with the omni-channel. If we look at many brands, for example, Asket in Sweden, it's a menswear brand. They have also done this interesting omni-channel tour in Europe with pop-ups. So that's probably something that we will also do, so we can spread the physical presence with pop-ups as well. But it's definitely a strong support channel to be around and to physically be somewhere. And this is also something benchmarked from the US.
Sorry, we should remain to short answers and questions, but I'm still asking one more question. Sorry. What about the pricing? What's the pricing strategy on this?
So we're in the affordable luxury category, which is the fastest.
But that's a very large category.
Yeah, I know. I know, but let's talk about pricing from 200 to 600 about. But what the pricing strategy is pretty much completely transparent. So like we're telling on our website, the pricing markup is 2 to 3 times the production price. And that's what we have promised our customers, and that's how we are actually pricing our products, to be fair. And that's something that's also growing the engagement and has reached.
Okay. I don't know if it's fair to say that we only mark up by 3 times, but it's okay. Mari, please.
Yes. In your business, it's really important to find your customers. So how is the marketing side on your company handled? What is your plan on how to reach the target groups you are looking for?
Right now, we have a CMO handling mostly digital social media marketing. That's our main pathway. And press are very important, but yeah, we're doing those in-house, and well, currently we're striving internationally to build the community ideology in a way that we go, for example, to Sweden, to Amsterdam, Copenhagen, find a niche and find a few influencers who that niche actually follows, and create a community there. And the more we have of these communities, the sooner they will start kind of getting connected digitally and reach the point where actually the community starts growing itself. So that's the plan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anna and Juri. That was the first episode of the Startup World Cup Finland 2020 online competition. Thank you for being with us. In the next episode, we will present you 2 more startups, Kintinel's Spinoff and Rocksoul. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. in our next episode.